Happy New Day, everyone. It is Naganagamem, and this is episode 2 of Getting Connected with Naganagamem. Naganagamem. So what is Naganagamem? Naganagamem is a title that I made out of words. I could give you a very mental definition about a certain type of tin, a color of talc, the five areas of the human body, and a bunch of other shit that, like, if you Google the word Naga and the meaning of the word Naga, you would find out. So I invite you to do that. You could Google MEM, which is an Egyptian word, mem. Google that word. It'll provide you some meaning. There's a Japanese word in the middle, Nagame, Nagame. If you Google that word, that's another word. All of these words have something to do with, vision, eye at length, mem being a sacred letter of the alphabet, etc. I like to keep mem a secret, so do your own research with mem. But like, all of those things are important, but really, what is Naganagamem? So Naganagamem is me seeing myself, my most beautiful self, my best self, my greatest version, as Mr. Ralph Smart likes to say. Shout out to Infinite Waters. Shout out to Forrest Isn't Dead, and shout out to Ubiquitous Love Tribe. Google all of those people, listen to all of their music. Well, Ralph doesn't make music, he's Infinite Waters, he does the self-help stuff, but like, engage with those people and those groups of people. Also more dope music in Atlanta. Those are my homies. Southwest. And so Naganagamem is really, like, outside of the mental definitions that I could give you, is a hurt kid trying to feel better. Now, why? How is this? What does this happen? So, like, I'm Naeem. My name is Naeem Netaseh Abdulaziz. I was born on April 9th, 1993 in St. Louis, Missouri. I am a quote-unquote Black American and an African. Tribally, I am Olmec and Graybo. Because of this situation of colonization at this time, there has been some tragedy in my life. My dad has always, well, not always, throughout the course of my life, has battled substance abuse, crack cocaine. And my mom, being the caring and loving person that she is, has always tried to manage that. Now, at this point, my parents are separated. My mom is gloriously living a new life for herself and, has a new love blooming, and there are many things happening for her in her life. My dad, unfortunately, is still somewhere in the depths of his addiction. I'm not sure whether if he's alive or dead. This bothers me. And so this situation was the situation of my father and my mother and their relationship upon the event of my birth was tumultuous, to say the best. Throughout my life, my mom has always sought to make sure that I am okay because of my dad and because of the situation that I grew up in. However, this has not really afforded us much time to talk heart to heart. My mom was the type that would be very engaged and like, oh, do this program and go to do this thing and do that thing and whatever. But she would never really like sit down and have a heart to heart, like, hey, Naeem, how are you feeling? What's going on with you today? How are you doing today? My dad, on the other hand, when he was sober and in clear mind, and when he and my mom were on good terms and he was in the house, would be like, hey, little Naeem. He would always sit down with me. He would have heart to hearts. He would show me little things. He was a Green Beret, so he would show me little things about the military, how to balance yourself, survival techniques, and then he even took me into the streets of Atlanta and showed me his life, and showed me the places that he frequented in his stints of active addiction, when he was in a place of sobriety. So, and then I've seen him use a few times, and that's affected my consciousness too. But growing up with these things, growing up with my mom and my dad, and in an environment where I felt like my truest self wasn't heard, like what I truly wanted to say wasn't heard and wasn't felt, I began to internalize and I began to believe that I was not good enough. And to a degree, the belief that I am not good enough still affects me in my relationships today. Like I'm dealing with something now on the in my romantic life that stems from Naeem thinking that he's not good enough. So, at a certain point in my life, I realized that, like I have myself, and that if I could imagine something, a Naeem that, didn't have all of the problems that I have, or not even didn't have all of the problems that I have, but overcame the problems that I have. A Naeem that was living well, a Naeem, that was comfortable in his skin, a Naeem that was like, gregariously living life, house, children, clothes, of course, all the trappings of a quote unquote material life, but like not to the point where they become excess and absorbent, just basic things: house, car, kids, wife, etc. Because that's what I really see for myself. Like I'd like to be a dad. I would like to, raise a child that doesn't have to recover from anything, who at 26 years of age can simply live. Has no, doesn't have to do, counseling and therapy and things because of the needs that weren't met in their childhood. So, I at some point imagined, I think I was like 15 or 16, where I imagined that. And my imagination became more real than my real life, because it was what fueled me to be and to exist and to create and to interact with all of you in the way that I've interacted with you, if you've had the opportunity to interact with me in person in life. So, Naganagamem was born. Now, in seeing this, that's why Naganagamem means most perfect vision, or really perfect vision. Okay, so like with the most perfect vision thing, most perfect vision is only really used as a title form. When you use like Naganagamem as a noun, when used as a title, Naganagamem means most perfect vision. But when Naganagamem is used as a noun, it just means perfect vision. No, because a noun is adjective. There we go. I used the wrong part of grammar. When Naganagamem is used in like when it describes a person, place, or thing, like what type of vision, Naganagamem is perfect vision. Naganagamem describes a type of seeing. The symbol that you see, this symbol right here, the Naganagamem symbol, means that which has no opposite, because when you have perfect vision, you see that which has no opposite. You see a completely interconnected whole. You see the interplay between light and darkness. You see how the cycles of the world support each other, and you see, at least for me, what I saw was an opportunity to be my truest and best self. So yeah, Naganagamem is little Naeem's way of being big. And so I started, like I took the name. It was weird. I had a bunch of, if you were with me in my early journey, like I had a bunch of symbols in my name, and it was already unique enough. So like it's just funny. So like when I had all of that, the extra symbolage in my name, I was doing a lot of things like extraneously, and I couldn't I don't want to say I couldn't, but like the amount of things that I could get done with myself was limited because of all of the things. I was trying to like be all complex and this and that, but just Naganagamem is a word that I made, so I don't have to be all, I don't have to put an infinity sign and a this and a that and all of this in it, because it already is, it already is the representative of myself. Like, saying like I'm infinite, it's infinite. Like, and that's also it's really interesting. Like Naganagamem is also a manifestation of like feminine energy. Naganagamem, it curves, bends, syllable. Memaganagan, it's actually Naganagamem backwards. It is the masculine energy. And that is because Naganagamem, I've always been more comfortable with the feminine aspects of myself. I live with my mom and her 7 sisters. My little sister, I'm one of 3 men in my family actually one of 5 now, on my mom's side. So like I've been very acquainted with not only femininity, the feminine energy like as a whole, but like the feminine within myself. And so it was that place that was developed first, because I was around women, and then ultimately, going out into life, and interacting with men and interacting with the folks that I call my brothers, so Cyrus, Stan, Matt, Jesse, Kadar, to name a few. I began to really understand what is balanced masculine energy, what is true masculine energy, what is a man, and more importantly, what type of man am I? So yeah, like Naganagamem, masculine, feminine, everything. The best version of Naeem Nataseh Abdulaziz. And so I truly feel like by embodying that, like giving my best self a place to reside, like it's just not an idea, bro. Like it's not like, oh yeah, my greatest version. It's not this like mental creation. Like it's a Naganagamem. It's something that I can write down. It's something that I can interact with. At this point, it's the way that I promote myself. It's internet. So like it's something that I can interact with tangibly, and it gives me a huge space to identify what aspects of myself are truly supportive of my greatest version and what aspects of myself are not. And I would say that the creation of Game, the Game, I'm gonna use that. The creation of Naganagamem, or really like the revelation of Naganagamem, has really helped me put that into perspective, and has really helped me internalize that and like crystallize that information and put it into not only just like mental pontifications and like mental fun, but is crystallized actions, ways of being, ways of speaking, ways of interaction. Yeah. So that, I feel like, my heart says that. Yeah, my heart says that this episode is not over yet. I'm not sure why it's not over. So do I have anything more to talk about in this moment? I don't think so. All right, so today is a day. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. I speak a bit randomly. That's okay. It's kind of off the cusp. And I'm going with it. So that's episode 2. Naganagamem. What is Naganagamem? With your host, Naganagamem. And yeah. So yeah, definitely Google those words though. Google, like, if you really want to get down, because like, okay, all right. Let's not, okay. Continuing on. All right, so like, I've also had an obsession with dragons. Okay, so continuing on. Okay, so yeah, it's not over yet. All right, so I've also had an obsession with dragons for my entire life. And if you look at dragons, for example, you'll see that dragons are known to every human culture before human cultures are recorded to have interacted with one another. Now, of course, like the human subconscious and like the collective unconscious. That's true. Yeah, and that's real. I like to, so when we see that and when we see the figure of dragons, I like to imagine the dragons as the connecting piece or the symbol to the overarching systems that sustain life. And like the foundational systems. Overarching or foundational really are the same thing, although they, at least in my terms, like in the way that I view things, overarching and foundational are the same thing, because it's like a structure that allows other things to exist. So I feel like the dragons connect us to that. And so if you research culture, you'll see that like every culture has a dragon myth. All of them. They're like, there's nowhere where dragons are not. And so that makes me very interested into what dragons actually are. And I feel like if there was anything to represent myself, in symbol form, or like if I was an animal or my spirit animal is a dragon, like I definitely feel like, yeah, like if I was anything, I would be a dragon. or that energy, like that, what I see in dragons is also myself. So, Naganagame is also a way to, because like Nagas are like, the part of Nagas are like Hindu serpent deities, and I'm just like, oh, like, so dragons in India are spiritual, and like knowledge is also gold. So, like, it's, to me, I see the similarity, and that just could be my own weird brain. But Naganagame is also like a shout out to like my love of dragons. And you can even see right here, I'm in my room right now, but like, that's a dragon. And that guy has been with me for a very long time. And so, yeah, I like comic books. I'm a nerd. I like superheroes. And, that Naganagame is a way for all of those things to crystallize into like my reality. I feel like, the metaphor for superhuman cartoons or superhero cartoons is like people using their gifts to help others. And like you can, and then the definition of a villain is someone who, uses their gifts and abilities selfishly, and at the expense of others. Because sometimes being selfish is not bad. Sometimes it's necessary, but you can be selfish without acting at the expense of others. Like, or you can taking care of yourself is not taking care of yourself is not selfish. However, when you act at the expense of others, that creates problems in your environment and in your world. We're experiencing some of this right now, with all of the things that are going on in the world at this time. Naganagame is also not only my personal, like my personal greatest version, but like the greatest version that I see for all of us. Like I see a world, what is most perfect vision? I see a world where, humans are free, like truly free. Like we can travel without border patrols and checks, and everybody's, we can have what we want in our backpacks without, getting stopped and searched, and all of these things, all of those oppressed peoples around the world, of various colors and various shades and various places can live freely and walk freely, and there's open communication between us. We dissolve narcissistic pools of influence, aka governments, and we simply rely on honest communication with each other. We're over here, y'all over there, we trade. Like, I see the world's forests growing back. I see the oceans cleaned up. I see the destruction of all forms of egoic interaction on planet Earth, and I see a beautiful human renaissance happening where like people can actually live, like the true abolishing of slavery and of manipulation within the human world. A true kinship with nature, that which we are. Like it can happen. It's real. Yeah, we want. So, and I just want everybody to think about it. Take a second, think about, okay, like we won, y'all. Like, we destroyed money, we destroyed capitalism. I'm saying? People just free. We can travel, we can do things. We got eco-friendly everything. You know what I'm saying? Not a piece of plastic in the ocean. I need y'all to really imagine this. To see this, to like view this, like feel it. What does that feel like? What does that look like? What do those systems operate on? And I need people to think this, because not only me, not only am I thinking this, not only am I putting this out, this is what I contemplate, this is what I sit on, this is what I dwell upon. It affects the noosphere, which is the thought layer of the world. Like, it affects the way that events happen. So if many of us do this, just like the global meditations for peace, we can change the world. Of course, we will also have, in the process of changing the world, we will change ourselves and we'll change our actions. But it's possible. Like, it all starts with a thought. Everything that we've seen is an idea. So yeah, like, Naganagamem, yo. Like, what does the new world look like? Can you feel it? Can you smell it? Can you taste it? I do every day. That's my prayer. That's my meditation. And I start here with my heart. You see, the heart and the brain are connected. And by, holding one's heart and breathing deeply, feeling feelings of gratitude, I've been able to reshape my own world. So, 3 minutes a day, minimum. There's some, and if you don't know about that, like, that connects The heart, the heart is an electromagnet. The brain is an electromagnet. The heart is much stronger than the brain. And when you do this, you connect your heart and the brain, and you allow the neurons to connect better, or it's like fortifying the rope between your sensing mechanisms. And when we do this, this also jump starts and kick starts our natural healing mechanisms. So we can heal ourselves, y'all. We can live ourselves, y'all. We can do it. I didn't mean for this to turn into a motivational or like thing, but yeah, like that's what I be on, like Naganagamem, you know what I'm saying? I be connecting my heart and my brain. I be imagining cool things, and that's really what Naganagamem is. It's like, it's my commitment to a better world, my commitment to a better self, my commitment to myself, my best self. Yeah. So I feel like that's actually the end of this video. So this has been episode 2. Getting connected with Naganagamem. What is Naganagamem? All right, I'll see y'all soon. Love you.